Welcome to another Old Buzzard video. A number of you have asked for a video explaining Avenza maps and showing how to use it. I don't claim to be a real advanced expert at it, but it's been my go-to program for several years now. So I thought I'd capture what I do know about it and a little bit about what I don't know too. But then share it with you guys, and hopefully it's long, I know that, but hopefully it'll be helpful to a number of you. You have to split it. It's so big, I'll have to split it into two videos. This one's basically just about how to load maps, how to navigate around maps, some of the different map features and tools for maps. But the second video in the series is going to be one on layers. Layers is really where Avenza sets itself apart from the other mapping programs and what gives it its power. Unfortunately, it makes it look like a very complex program when you get started in it, but if you have somebody explain what layers are and how to manipulate the layers, perhaps it'll be a little easier. So that'll be a part 2 of this video, and I hope you enjoy my work. This has actually been probably the toughest video to put together. It uses some technology that I hadn't used before. I don't even know how well it's going to come out. But in any case, I hope it was a worthwhile effort, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, here we go. We'll select the Play Store, and from the Play Store we'll tap in the Search for Apps and Games box. We will search for Avenza, and Avenza Maps Offline Mapping comes up. We'll select it. We will install Avenza, and we'll just wait for it to install. Okay, now we've got it installed, so we're going to click Open. And this isn't the fastest tablet in the world, but let's see. I'm going to tell it I'm new because I don't want to get it confused with the account that I do have with them. So I'm pressing the I'm new button, and the email is going to be, there we go, the email, let's see, I used old buzzard video at gmail.com. I'm not going to guarantee you can ever get a hold of me that way, but I'm going to do it again. Old buzzard video at gmail.com. Now let's see, is it going to show you my password? Ha! I'll have to figure out how to edit this out somehow. And I believe it's a minus. There we go. And now we shall register. Hopefully that's a good what you call it. Let's see. Avenza Maps requires access to your location data. Of course it does. And Avenza Maps, of course we want to allow it to location. And we are installed right now. It hasn't even asked for a credit card or anything. Okay, after that fresh install, it leaves you right here at My Maps. You'll notice on the bottom there are 3 icons: My Maps, Layers, and Store. There's 2 ways to get maps for Avenza. We're going to do it through the store first. It's It's actually the clumsiest way, but it's the way that you have to do it if you want more than 3 maps for free. If you use the import method, you are limited to 3 maps unless you buy a subscription. And that subscription, I think, is $29 a year. I do it because the other way I'm going to show you to load the maps is so much easier. But this isn't bad either. We'll do it through the store. We can get any free map there is on there, and there's a ton of free maps. So it's taken me to the store. It's kind of looking at where I'm at. It's put my home location right in the middle of the map there. We can see a number of maps on the left. A lot of them are uh, paid maps, and we're not interested in those. But we are interested in, well, let me show you a couple of ways. At least I like to turn the filter on. The filter is on the top right. It's the funnel looking. Yeah, I hit my account every time. It's the funnel looking icon. I'm only interested in free maps, and I want them listed by popularity. I think the off-road guys are the most frequent users of these things, so the maps have a higher popularity. We'll click on apply, and now you can see it just comes up with tons of maps. The numbers in the circles here, I don't really know the difference between the orange and the blue. I guess the blue is individual maps. The orange that has numbers, if you click on, for instance, there's one that says 30 plus. That means there's over 30 maps in that area. We'll click on that just for the heck of it. And then it keeps breaking the number of maps down more and more. It has already found what I'm looking for. If you look at the top left, it's the Umatilla National Forest Pomeroy Ranger District Motor Vehicle Use Map. That's the one I want to take, and I'll grab it in a second. But I just want to show you that you can move the map. We'll go way down here by McCall and New Meadows and all that. There's another button toward the top right on the map that says search this area. So we'll click search this area, and it brings up what's available down there. And MVUMs are pretty much right on the top of the list, but you can go through and see what all they have down there. So yeah, there's a ton of motor vehicle use maps available, but I'm going to go back to my own area and get my map. So search this area. The one I was interested in was the Pomeroy and the Umatilla. So there's a button for download. Okay, it's downloading the map. It's processing it right now. It takes just a minute to do what they call tiling, and that's to prepare the map for use within Avenza. And that only takes a few seconds. So the map is actually ready to open right now, but I don't want to do that quite yet. I want to go get a street map of all of Washington State. You'll find out why later, and it has to do with if you forget to label any kind of layers or whatnot, you might not know what that layer is associated with, what forest or where. So if you have the whole state map, you can associate a layer with it. It'll pop up and show you on that entire state map where that layer and where those tracks and those pins are. And then you can go associate them with the correct map. Anyway, I'm going to push well, let's see. I've already got the, the filter selected. Yep, it's still free, still by popularity. I'll close it. So the search bar is right on top. Map area. I want to search for all of Washington. And let's see, that's good. So I'll click on done. And let's see. Current location, any location. Done. Oh, we'll pick Washington off the list. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to put any search keywords in for the search. There it shows me all of Washington State. Now I'm looking for a free highway map, and doggone it, it's right on top on the left there. Although there's a number of different maps. Uh, there's all kinds of state forests and scenic areas, and on the west side of Washington, they don't have too awful many MVUMs. They don't have their travel plans made. In any case, I want that Washington highway map, so I'm going to grab it for free, tell it to download. Now I have, that's processing, now I have two maps, and we can see those maps by clicking on the My Maps down in the bottom left. Yes, we've got the Umatilla National Forest, blah, 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 and the Washington Highway map. Okay, now I want to show you the other way to get the maps, and it's not through the store. And again, you can do it the way I'm going to show you for 3 maps that you have active and 3 only. Now, I really can't tell you what the word active means, but here's how we get maps. If you pay that subscription fee, then you can import as many maps as you like. I already have, you'll see here in Chrome. On Chrome, we're going to go to the Umatilla National Forest. Let's see, which one was it here? Doesn't matter. Anyway, we'll go there. And what we're going to do is find maps for the Umatilla. So we're not quite in the area I thought we'd land in. Don't make me a liar now, guys. So we're going to look at OHV writing and OHV related links. Where is that darn? Where are my maps? OHV trail riding. There's the list of the trail riding. There's the Pomeroy Ranger District. Now the first time I did this, it took me right exactly to where I wanted to be. In fact, now we are where I was hoping to land. Sometimes you got to goof around a little bit. I was in the main Umatilla Ranger page instead of the Pomeroy Ranger District page. So now that I'm at that Pomeroy District page, if you look on the left here, there's Maps and Publications. That almost embarrassed me. Maps and Publications, and then where's my MVUMs? Current Motor Vehicle Use Maps, right there in the middle. Okay, and for this area, we've got a nice little index of all the maps. I generally ride in 19, 20, and 21. Sometimes I get a little farther south than that, but 19, 20, and 21. So through this table down here, not where it says road designation table, but where it says map, we're going to click on map 19. Did that take? We're going to click on it one more time, and we see it downloading. And it's going to open up in just a second. Okay, so now we've got the map. Isn't that special? So that is the real Federal Forest Service map right there. And we will click on the 3 dots, and we will click on open with, and we will open it with Avenza. Remember, Avenza was sitting open in the background. It would have opened Avenza automatically if it hadn't already been opened, but we're downloading that map. It kind of makes me mad map 19 isn't named map 19 here, so you just have to remember what you got. And then we'll go back to, come on, show me all. We'll go back to Chrome. And now we're going to get map number 20. Yep, here it comes. And map number 20 is all there. So 3 dots. Open with Avenza Maps. It's importing the map file. And it's tiling it, it's processing it. There's 2 maps. Come on. And we're going to go get at least one more. So it's back to Chrome. And map 21, right? 19, 20, 21. Well, if you're confused, you can look back up there. Yes, map 21. It's downloading. It's ready, so 3 dots, open with. I'll tap on open with again, Avenza. Now if we were to take a 4th one, it'll download it, it'll process it, it'll look like everything's hunky-dory, but you will get a message that says not more than 3 active maps are available at one time. So I don't exactly know what makes a map active or not active. I would imagine you're going to find out in just a second. We're going to look at folders to put maps in so we can keep things organized. And perhaps when they're all in one folder, that makes them all active. At least when they're all in one collection, I know they're active. So let's talk about the difference between folders and collections. If you click on the plus sign down on the bottom right, you get the choice of add a folder, add a collection, or download or import a map. Well, we didn't have to use the download or import a map because it does it automatically when you're in that Forest Service menu and you tell it to download the map. It just does it for you. So you could do it here. You could click on there and it'll ask you for the web address of the map. I don't bother with that. What we're here for right now is add a folder and add a collection. Folders are exactly what they sound like. In fact, let's go look. Come to think of it, I want to show you something first here. We'll look back at a map. Okay, so we'll open any old map. And if you look at the top right, there's just nothing special. That's just the map. There's nothing else there. No overlays or anything. I want you just to see that. The top right, just completely normal. So I'm going to hit the back button up there in the top left. That brings me back to kind of what I call home here. Now I want to click that plus button again where we found add a folder and add collection. We're going to add a collection, and a collection is going to make it possible to automatically move from one map to another as you're moving along, and it does it automatically. Or you can swipe your finger and move it from one map to another. If you just put them in folders, then you manually have to open them from this same screen. So what we want to do, I use collections all the time. We'll add a collection, and we're going to call this Pomeroy MVUMs. Pomeroy MVUM. Yes. It's important to name things in order to keep things straight. So start right out naming your collections and picking. For me, it's basically I'm making collections of maps within individual either ranger districts or state forests, federal forests, depending on how big the forest is. If it's a big forest, I'll use it at the ranger district level. Anyway, add the collection. We're done typing. We'll hit OK. Now you can see we have a folder by the name of Pomeroy MVUMs. We'll open that folder just to show you there's nothing there. We'll click on Go Back to Maps. Now we want to start putting our maps in there. So a long press will highlight or select an item, and then you can just tap on the next items that you want to put in that folder. So you can see we have 4 maps highlighted right now. Up in the top right, there's a folder with the arrow on it. That's the move command. Where do you want to move it to? I want it moved to the Pomeroy MVUM folder. Now, if you can imagine having 20 or 30 different folders here, then you start to understand why having correct naming conventions and whatnot is very important. So the next thing we will do is to let's have a look at these maps again. So now we're going to see something different than when we looked a second ago. You see up on the top right, I'm sorry, I don't know my left from right. On the top left now, we have these boxes over here where you see the little plus sign moving around. So this tells me that we have one great big huge base map, and we have one, go over here, the map should switch. Oh, actually, this is a really good point here. If you have maps of different scales, the map that covers the biggest area will be used when you're pinched all the way in like that or close to that. When you start zooming way in, it starts using the other maps that aren't of such a big scale. I really don't like this. I haven't quite really got it figured out, but we're going to get rid of that bigger scaled map. I think there's more information on the smaller ones, and I just happen to know which one it is. I'm going to go back, and it's that very first one I downloaded. In fact, you can see by the file size, it's 11.4 megabytes. It's the biggest in terms of data, but I also know that's the one that is would you call it small scale or biggest scale? It's the biggest map, and I don't like it. I am going to delete it, so I will highlight it. You see the trash can on the top right? We will hit the trash can, and we'll say OK. And now that map is gone. So we'll select any old map right now. Okay, now we can see a little more how this works. So you can see the plus sign went all the way to the left because I'm looking at the very leftmost map in the leftmost position. There's 3 maps here. You have to use your imagination that it's showing the overlaps. That's why there's a number of lines over here. But let's go up here. You'll see when we get off of that orange map and pull just a little more, now we're in this map. If you want to go south, will go up, pop, it goes to the next map. This is pretty cool because as you're traveling along, you will locate yourself by hitting that button down on the bottom left that's the locate me or center me or whatever they officially call it. It won't go anywhere now because we're not on the map. But in any case, it'll put you where you are, and as you drive around, the map will just follow you. You're always in the center of it. The map follows you, and we're getting way into map operations now, but I guess that's okay. But I just wanted to show you that's an easier way to download maps, just like that. So I believe that probably concludes the how to download portion. I may duplicate this a little bit in the next portion of map features. But okay, way cool, and that will be the end of this chapter. See you in the next chapter. Now you notice this no compass message comes up. Some of my tablets, it's come up repeatedly, even after I've clicked OK, I understand, or OK, understood. But I want you to know that this has no relevance or bearing on the operation of Avenza. Some of the really deluxe $400, $500, $600 tablets, they have a magnetometer built in, and that magnetometer is the compass. Early tablets, almost all of them had a magnetometer, but I'm not sure why they took them out, other than there are other ways to deduce direction now. So anyway, I'm going to click OK, I understand. It does not mean that it won't work. Okay, so we have the MVUM. It's pinching and squeezing and everything just like normal. So you can see we can really zoom in on these maps. The bottom left is the center me or find me, the little circle with the pegs off it. And let's see, I get the feeling that the GPS is not working right now because it did not take me. So I'm going to lift up on this, and see, I got that no compass again. Okay, I understand. So does it have a lat long? Yes, it has my lat long. I'm completely off the map is what the problem is. So let's go find another map. There we go. And now I'll use the locate me button, the bottom left. And that is where I live. So that works just fine. Let's see, what can I tell you from here? So we don't want to get into any of the layers yet or anything, but map functions are good to discuss. So now it will follow you around. It won't leave a track unless you've got tracks going. But let's look at a couple things here. I just pulled up on that bottom window, and I wish this thing wouldn't nag me every time. I know it doesn't have a magnetometer in it. So you have location, tracking, and navigation. And I'm not going to claim to be an absolute expert at all of this. You guys will outpace me real quickly, especially you techies that like to get into real deep. But in the location, obviously, it will show a bearing if you have a course laid in. We don't have a course laid in, so you can't have a bearing. And obviously it has the compass. The compass won't work unless you are moving. Then it'll show you which way, because I believe they're deducing the direction based on your GPS movement. You guys can come back to me and leave comments and whatnot and tell me how it really works. The one thing that we just discovered here not too long ago, something new in the newer version, where on the right hand side where it says map view modes, if you click on that, and now it's turned to kind of more solid blue, now the map won't always be north up. The map will move in the direction of your travel. And if I was outside walking around, I know it would work. I'm in the house right now, but yeah, I may have to go outside, or you just have to take my word for it. But the map will move. In fact, I think I'll pause it. I will go outside and demonstrate that. I want to make sure it works on this tablet too. Okay, I just stepped outside. It's snowing. I'm going to walk to the south here a little bit. We'll see how long it takes for that to rotate. Oh, I've got it turned off, so I've got to hit that button again that fills up the thing where that said map view modes. Maybe that's not persistent. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around, walk a couple hundred feet the other way. Not a couple hundred feet, maybe 50 feet. So pretty soon, there we go. So, you know, it only takes a GPS sample every few seconds. You can control that into settings. And obviously that's you know, you can use a lot of memory laying tracks and whatnot if you have it take samples too often. So anyway, you saw how that worked. That's pretty cool. I like that. Let's see what else we can show you here. Oh, I got bumped into navigation somehow. It's snowing outside, so I got some snow on the screen. Who knows what it did? But I'm going to go back to the location. That's a really good ad. I hope that's a persistent feature there. And you know, I wonder if I should have went and done settings to begin with, but basically it works right out of the gate, right out of the chute. There have been some real cheap laptops I've used where I've had to use a couple special settings in the setup, but it's not often. Anyway, so that's location, and that's about all I can tell you. You know, it does show speed, altitude, accuracy, things like that. Tracking we use a lot, and I'm not going to really do a track right now, but to start tracking, and again, that's one of my favorite things, is to be able to save tracks, and that's how you can always get back out of where you came from too, if you get lost and need to get turned around. But the play button, and we're recording our tracks right now, and we will stop it right now. So we just made a track that's, I'm sitting in a chair so it didn't go anywhere, but that's a track. I'm going to click on the little track 1 box kind of in the center of the screen, and so here is all the information that's associated with that track. So it's not going to have much information in it right now because obviously I never even got out of the chair, but we'll go through these things. Title is pretty important. One thing you want to do is consider your organization for this stuff before you get a lot of things saved. I didn't do that real well when I first got started with Avenza, and it took a lot of work to get things straightened out and organized so that I could recognize everything very easily and maneuver quickly. So title here, just going to be maybe sitting at at home. So now I know what that track represents. I can change the track color by pushing on the track screen there. So standard right now is orange. I'm pressing on the color. We can make it a green track. You can change line thicknesses. Too thin a line and you can't see it while you're running down the trail. Too thick of a line and it will cover up trail information. So you just have to fiddle with sizes and whatnot. So I just clicked on the screen anywhere to get rid of that. We'll go back. Photos. You can take photos along the way, and we'll allow access to it. But since that was a failure, let's move on to something we do know about. And I'm just going back and back. Of course, you can put a bigger description in the show graph function. If you've gone anywhere, it'll show your distances, speeds, elevations, that sort of thing. Pretty cool information there if you're into numbers and that sort of thing. I wonder how you guys are tolerating my voice and my cadence and my pace and everything here. I hope it's okay with you. Use the pause button to stay with me if you're just getting started. If you watch it straight through, maybe you'll pick up something you didn't know, maybe you won't, I don't know. Anyway, so we're done editing that track. That's how you lay a track. I didn't really want to show a whole lot about it right now. Pretty obviously my maps is where all of your maps are going to be located. In layers is where all of your tracks, all of your pins, all of your photos, all those attributes that you create in the layer are going to be in layers. And of course, store is where you get the maps. Now let's go back. We're in my maps already. Let's open up the Washington State map. And this could be any map you want. It wouldn't matter. Actually, let's go back. I'm going to push the back button. I'm going to open up the MVUM. So we'll open up the Umatilla Pomeroy Ranger District, RD Ranger District. Okay, so we're back on the Pomeroy Ranger District MVUM. I'm going to drop that back down so we can see more. Let's talk a little bit about pins. Pins, I find, are a pretty powerful planning tool. I know there's a way to create routes here, but for me, when I create a route, I really want it to follow a road closely, and I can't really get that done in Avenza. I keep asking them to add what they call the rubber banding to routes, where you can just snap a bunch of points along a route to make it accurate. But let's find the Clearwater Tower Lookout. That's the top of the mountain below me, so I know it's up here. In fact, let me tell you a little bit. This compass rose at the top right, the red and the gray. You tap that once, it'll send you north up. And let me find what I'm looking for here. Where are we? I gotta get it bigger so I can see. There's Teal. There's Alder Thicket. So I have a little different MVUM, but doggone it. Clearwater Lookout, there it is. So if I want to pin a location, for instance, you'll see how there are crosshairs right in the middle of the screen. Right, you got that. There's crosshairs. So you set your map, you drag your map under the crosshairs. That's where the Clearwater Lookout is. There's a little pin, it's right next to the locate me function on the bottom left. So there's a pin there. You click on pin, and we will give it a title. Come on, let's work. We'll click on that X to blank it out. So this is Clearwater Lookout. And whoops. We'll fix my little typo there, and we will Clearwater Lookout. Now I'm going to click on the symbol. I don't want a red pin. So there's a number of different colors of pins you can select, or you can use these symbols. Generally, I just use the pins. Or for something that's unusual, a feature, I'll use that one, the triangle with the exclamation point. But in any case, let's make it a green pin. So I've selected green, and we don't have any photos. I'm not going to put another description. The check mark on the top right is how you accept it. Whoop. See, I clicked twice when I shouldn't, so I just went back. But where'd my pin go? Oh, now the green pin that's pretty much in the middle. So you can see, even when I'm zoomed way out like that, it's like, oh, okay. And gee, I think that's the Clearwater Lookout. So now I'm gonna click on that pin. Aha! Yes, that is the Clearwater Lookout. We'll click on that text. And now we can see the description and a number of other things about it. So that's pretty handy to know that information is all there. So that's how you drop pins. A lot of times, I'll just drop pins like crazy to create a route. If I want to come in, let's see, which way do I come in mostly? I have to think about that for a second. I come in from this way because I live way over up in that area. But I come in here, so I'll just start dropping pins to make a route that I want. And let's do it with green pins again. So green, okay. And then select a pin, green, the check mark. And we won't do this forever, but because you get the idea. So I just clicked on the pin symbol. I want another green one. Check. Yep. So now, and a lot of times, like I say, especially when there's a lot of turns involved, I'll drop a pin right at every turn so that I know how to navigate. That's how pins work. Over here on the right hand side, the right hand's of the little blue bar in the bottom where the lat long is, the pin symbol's there. We'll click on that. That just sent me to the layers to the layer. The layer that we just created by dropping pins. That layer, you can see, has 4 active place marks in it. So I'm going to tap on it. Those active place marks are the Clearwater Lookout and the 3 other pins that I dropped to get my route going in. And I can edit them from here if I want. I can click on the place mark. And it takes me there, but I can go back and edit now if I wanted to. The symbol in the top right, what the heck is it? It looks like a key with a little arrow out of the circle. That gives me information. No, I'm sorry, that puts you in the navigation mode. So now it's going to navigate me from where I'm at. Oop. Sorry if I'm getting this kind of confused, but that was how you navigate to the pin that I was on when I clicked that. When I clicked the the symbol up there on top. Let's go back. I'm going to bring this back up, and I'm going to go to navigation. And you can see it's a red square at the bottom right of that. I'm going to turn navigation off by clicking on that red square. Okay, so in this navigation screen, you can see you can project a destination. So if I were to click on that, it would show you your current location, and it would see which direction you're headed, and it would project out where you're going if you keep going in that direction. It's just a big arrow that sticks out in front of you. Navigate to a feature I've never really used. Enter coordinates is a good one. You can cut and paste coordinates out of Google Maps, for instance, and you can enter coordinates here. There's a number of places you can enter coordinates and have it bring up the right map for those coordinates. Create a route I've used, but I didn't find it real satisfactory because, so we'll start here. You know, again, that crosshair is real important, and I believe you just tap once. Yep. And then you can tap again, and you can tap again. Now you got to do this little thing there, and then I'm tapping at every turn. But you see now, in order to get any detail, you really got to zoom in, and you can see I've already kind of gotten off base there. But you just keep tapping and laying. And then once you get to where you're going, let's see if we can speed that process along here. We'll tap, tap, tap. Yeah, I'm really making a mess of it, but that's fine. This is just a demo. Tap. If you do this for real, obviously, you pay a lot of attention. You do it while you're zoomed in. But the problem that I have with it is if you make a mistake, you can't just correct the one mistake. In some of the aviation programs I've had that work kind of like this, you can grab that route and you can rubber band it and drop it in any place you want. You can't grab that line from here. The best you can do in the center, there's kind of the back key. You can go back, back, back. And actually, it's not even doing anything right now. So oh, it did. It took it back quite a ways. So, but it didn't make it disappear. So I'm dropping pins again. Or not dropping pins, I'm sorry. Dropping points on the route. So we're at the Clearwater Lookout. If we clicked on back, see, I clicked on back, but it didn't erase that line. How do we get it to erase the line? I'm going to click on back again, back again.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording, Bugs. Okay. That's okay. Anyway, I don't use the route feature much because I find it kind of clumsy, and it's just so easy to drop pins that I do like it like that. So now you click the checkbox on the right-hand side on the bottom, and that concludes or saves. So do you want to navigate to this route? No, I don't want to do that right now. But I do want to show you that, let's see, I'm going to pull this down again. So there's that orange route. We can click on it. That's a line that we've drawn for a route. That was 13 miles. We can click on it. And we could name it and do all those things we do with all of the objects that we're going to put on the layer. But I don't want to keep this. The three dots on the top right three dots. You could either move it to a folder, and that's going to be important. We'll talk about that later. You can either move it to a folder or delete it. I'm going to get rid of that line. So line is now deleted. That little route that we made is gone. Let's click on those three dots again. Draw and measure is a pretty powerful tool. So for instance, what do we want to measure? Heck, I don't know, just 2 points. Well, let's go back and draw and measure on the state map. How far from my house is the edge of the forest? So Washington highways, it comes up to where I live. I'll center it again anyway. Actually, I'll make it big. See, and there's where that national forest starts. And I go in over here. But so now I've moved it. I've got to center again. Now click on the three dots, draw and measure, touch the screen or click. I'm going to use touch and click universally, guys. I'm sorry. So we will touch the screen one time, and now we can start moving, and you can see it's going to draw again. So I need to go down to Asotin. I go up Asotin Creek. I'm tapping to get it to do turns here. I go up Asotin Creek. I go this way. I go in here. Yep, that's the way I go in. So just to get to that national forest, it's a 23-mile drive for me. You can see on the top it says total 23.52. And then, yeah, that last segment from the last time I tapped on the screen to where I'm at is a 5-mile segment. Now you can either save this by hitting the check mark on the bottom right. Now it's saved. And you can look, I believe, at that line. So draw and measure just drops a line just like the routing portion did. So anyway, I was hoping we'd see segment numbers here, but it does not give you individual segments. I'm going to go in those three dots and delete this. Three dots, delete, it's gone. We'll go back to the three dots again and see if there's anything else. Most of the stuff is pretty obvious. We find by coordinates. So if you have coordinates in Google Maps, for instance, you can just paste them there and click on OK, and it will take you to those coordinates. Yep, that's probably enough. I don't know what plot photos is. I'm hoping you guys can actually help add to the knowledge base of this sort of thing. I've not written a script. I'm just doing this all free-handed. I'm trying to do it all in one session, and I don't know how any of this is going to come out. So yeah, I have not successfully taken any photographs with this tablet right now, which kind of surprises me. But anyway, I'm going to take a break again. Okay, let's take another quick little look at photos. I had taken a stab at that a second ago, and I missed a button that is critical, and it's why it didn't work. I don't know how I'm going to edit things in or out, but so we're just on the map. I'm located where I'm at. I've used this locate button here on the bottom left. That's where I'm at right now. Let's click the pin button right next to the locate button. Okay, and then we'll go down here to photos. That's just this, what, second line down, third line down. Photos. And you see the camera on the top right. We'll click on the camera. What did I do? I clicked on something I shouldn't have. Let's go back. Go back. I'm having a hard time holding the darn thing right now. So we're going to click on the camera. There we go. Now what? There, my finger was in front of it. So yeah, it's been kind of a snowy, foggy day. We will take a picture. And what I did not do last time was click on the OK on the top right. So I'm going to click on OK. There we go. I have not named it. And again, I'm not going to take the time to name things right now, but it's really critical as you go along to name them, or you'll have no idea exactly what you're looking at or what the layer is or blah, blah, blah. So anyway, we do have that place mark right now. So I can go back. The pencil, these little icons are important to remember too. So up in the orange, the pencil gives us the ability to edit the object. So I could just put home there, I guess, and then say done. And we'll go back. You were using the top right, back and back. And then we will close the add place mark. And canceling will cause, oh, there's another real important thing. So I'm going to click on no, I'm not sure. I'm glad they gave me the warning. You've got to use the check mark on the top right or your changes will be lost. So that check mark is kind of like the OK button. So check mark, top right. There we go. Okay, so now you can see that red pin. Excuse me. You see that red pin that it's dropped where I live. There's a red pin right there. It's called place mark 1. Now, I'm not sure why isn't it called home? Because I never changed it here, I guess. But anyway, now you can see the photo down there in the photo section. We'll click on it. And we'll open it with the gallery. And that's the picture we just took. So you can take pictures along the trail, record the things that you want to see, title them, give them a description. It tells you their exact location without that long. So you can share the location of these things with your friends by copying that out and pasting it into an email or whatever you like to do. Paste it into Google Maps, those sort of things. So that's a little better demonstration of how the camera function works. So we'll just pause it there and think about it. Thank you for watching the video on the map portion of Avenza maps. I'll be making a second video very shortly about layers for Avenza. Now, layers are where all your information, in fact, that information is called features. Features such as tracks, lines, pins, photographs, those sort of things. Layers are where those things are kept. So you have layers that can be inside of layers. You have features that are in layers. And then you have attributes for those layers. Those are all things that need to be managed if you want to collect a lot of tracks and a lot of pins and whatnot. So it's kind of a complex thing to understand, but hopefully I can find a way to show everyone where it's a little easier. I know it took me quite a while. When I first got started, I didn't have things well organized, and by the time it dawned on me that how important the organization was, I was way behind the 8 ball, and it took me a long time to figure out how to move things around and kind of rebuild things the way I wanted. So if you'll be patient with me, it may be the first of the year before I can get the layers one out, but that'll give you time just to practice on the maps and whatnot. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate your patronage. Not that it gets me much of anything. Thank you now and then is pretty good. But I do appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.